Governor Kim Reynolds, about a year and a half ago, wrote a letter to the Board of Regents encouraging the universities to consider new and innovative ways to make up the gap, to secure excellence for the universities. And upon receipt of that letter, we took it seriously. So over the last year plus, almost a year and a half since the governor's letter, we've been putting together a series of studies and working with partners that included those familiar with the Ohio State project, but also familiar with the P3 environment. Working with key partners that included Jones Day from the legal perspective and Wells Fargo. Both were involved at Ohio State, have been involved in many others. Having those experts with us allowed us to generate early plans, explorations, and so we needed a good partner, and we put our values in front of all of this treatment of our staff and making sure that we took care of the strengths that made our utility system so strong. We took a conservative approach that put us in a place where we knew if we could receive bids of a certain threshold, we would feel that risks had been mitigated from a financial perspective to allow us to move forward and know with great assurity that we would have money to share with the university community to make the university better along the way. We had a well-rounded shared governance approach to the transparent notion of doing this exercise. So that team evaluated, with our consultants, evaluated the RFQs, and we came to a process of finalists. And then the finalists put together their proposals for us, which we finished this fall, and came to the selection, the unanimous campus selection of Engie and Meridiam. They came in the door not just touting, but showing their commitment to carbon reduction, the changes in Engie's model, even in this last few years for their removal of all interests in coal, and their both social and environmental attention to investment and actions taken on the utility front. Those were inspiring to us as we reviewed them, but they also spent just as much time talking about how they had treated employees at Ohio State and other places. We went and visited. We had some folks go and visit from our utility system, go and visit the Ohio State site to see if all of those things are true. And in fact, they came back saying, we'd love to work for that company. So they're both sharing equally in the funding, which is also an important element in our review of them. Engie is sharing equally, if you will, in putting weight of this deal on their shoulders and not just operating it, they're also helping to fund it. And so there's skin in the game for them as well. So they will adopt our entire utility system. There are some fuzzy edges to that we worked through the RFP and the RFQ process, worked on what would be the best fit for the University of Iowa in several areas, including fuel procurement. We do have, unlike many university campuses, we have a water production facility where we do the treatment of water on our campus. We have 120 employees in utilities and energy management, and it's taking care of everything from the steam production at the main plant to our chilled water plants, which are positioned strategically around the campus, half of them powered by electrical, half of them by steam, and the tunnel systems, so everything to the building. It's 50 years, and we all know that's a concern going in. Now, part of the benefit of the 50 years become the tax benefits that occur through the operations of this, with Engie and Meridiam really taking ownership of these. We're not selling them, they are ours at the end of the deal. If there ended up, as none of us would expect, if it ends up that there are non-performance issues that are protected through a series of KPIs and a very thick contract for this, then we can reassume operations if those things would happen. Not knowing what the market does in the future, although we'll have safeguards. We've established a 501c3 and an associated board that will manage the funds from this investment fund related to their first day payment. And we will work with financial advisors to make sure that the returns are good, and we'll determine the payout to the university on an annual basis so that we can make sure we're not overstepping our bounds. We have those safeguards in place, especially in those first 10 years, to make sure that all the modeling is holding true. We would not have done the P3 if we couldn't assure ourselves that we wouldn't be better, forget the money, that we wouldn't be better as a university in serving this campus from a reliability perspective. We have the sole tertiary quaternary hospital in the state, and there is no option to have it go out of service. I think the entrepreneurial notion of this on our campus is in great thanks to our president, Bruce Harold. That entrepreneurial spirit and the can-do spirit he had and has helped drive us in this direction and helped find our way to being aggressive on this front. But he also held with us, this isn't about the dollars, it's first about our people and about the environment and about doing it as well or better than we've ever done it. And once you do that, then you hope the numbers work out.